What it do? Bedtime crew. Hey man, listen. Today we are here with a huge tier list of the best UFC trash talkers of all time. I've got all-time guys on this tier list, so we're going to go from S all the way down to D. We're going to be taking cringe into account. We're going to be taking in the effectiveness of their trash talk. We're going to be thinking about some of their most iconic lines, okay? We're going to start off straight away with the guy that's fighting this weekend for the UFC championship, okay? Here's the fucking thing, you guys, right? Here's the fucking thing, dude. Sean Strickland is a B-tier trash talker, okay? He definitely has... I'm just thinking of that UFC 276 press conference where he was just going back to back on Izzy like he was Drake, bro. Like, every single thing he said had the crowd going crazy. Everything Izzy said he had to come back to. He was like, calm the fuck down, don't break a fucking nail, dude. Calm the fuck down, you're gonna break a fucking nail, dude. Like even when Izzy was talking about Pereira, he was like, listen, focus on him, or you get slept. And then Strickland just goes, tell me what not to do, Izzy. Tell me what the fuck not to do. Take a fucking nap in the octagon, dude. Of course, he did get knocked out, so it didn't really go well for him. But still, very, very good trash talker. He's got a lot of funny lines in his arsenal, and he's just a very charismatic guy. So that's a big B-tier energy. We move on, okay, to one of my favorite UFC fighters, a guy who definitely has got some bars when he's ready, okay? We're going to go Colby Chaos Covington, baby. All right, Colby Covington has some hilarious lines. He has some hilarious nicknames. I mean, the ones with Kamaru Usman really stick out to me. I remember that Kamaru Usman was talking about, like, we're 20 miles apart. We can do, like, if it's beef, we can fight. And then Colby Covington's just like, we're 20 miles apart in the rankings. We're 20 miles apart in skill level. Just calling and saying Usman dressed up in his mom's fucking bed sheets for the press conference. All this stuff. He's got very hilarious trash talk. Even when he says, like, tap of the year and nap of the year goes to Dustin Poirier and Jorge Masvidal. He's definitely got some really good one-liners. When his writing team's on, they're on, bro. Like, he's like a Netflix show, bro. When his writing team is going crazy, they're pulling out all the stops, okay? We move on to somebody that's maybe down the tier list. He's got some iconic lines himself, but not necessarily trash talk lines that stung. More kind of trash talk lines that stunk, okay? We're going to put Cody Garbrandt in the D tier, okay? Cody Garbrandt, like I said, he's got some pretty famous lines, hanging with the boys. Exactly. He's got some pretty funny lines, but he just gets owned too many fucking times. And he's also very meat-headed, so his trash talk doesn't really work out all the time. He's still figuring it out as he goes, He finds something funny to say, and he just repeats it over and over and over again. So yeah, dude, Cody Garbrandt, definitely a D-tier trash talker, okay? We move up a lot of fucking weight classes, let's be real. I'm gonna put Daniel Cormier at B-tier. You think I'm just gonna sit there and let you kill me, John? I mean, really? Daniel Cormier is a funny dude. Daniel Cormier is a funny fucking dude, man. He's definitely owned John Jones so many times. Even with Ryan Bader, he was like, I want the easiest fight. I want Ryan Bader. He is a very witty guy. He's a funny guy. He's got a very contagious laugh as well. DC is one of my personal favorite fighters, and almost doesn't really get credit as one of the best trash talkers in the UFC, but I feel like he's up there, man. I feel like he is definitely fucking up there, bro, because like I said, to just completely own John Jones over and over and over again on the mic, it was so satisfying for all of us who don't like John Jones, normal people, normal functioning members of society. I think it's because he was getting booed. Maybe he doesn't really get credit for those days, but man, he had some very good lines back in the day. Just like Jones had some very good lines back in the day in the nightclub bathroom. Okay, we move on to somebody else that's pretty good. I'm going to put Michael... Oh my word, look at this. I'm in A tier. Oh my word, buddy. Michael Bisping is a very good trash talker. I have to give him fucking credit. He is one of the OGs of the trash talking game. He was up there with Chael P. He was up there, with Conor McGregor. He's one of the wittiest guys in the UFC, He only had one eye, but he made up for it with his trash talking. He absolutely destroyed Luke Rockhold's entire mystique and credibility in one press conference. Even like time to times, like when he had the altercation with Colby Covington over the interview, I remember him roasting the fuck out of Colby. Like, he's always been pretty sharp. He's a pretty sharp fucking guy, dude. So Bisping's definitely A tier. You don't catch him getting owned very often, okay? Except for Dan Henderson. Dan Henderson got pretty good. All right, we move on to somebody else that's fighting very soon. And I've got a tier list all for his own. This C tier is cringe tier, okay? I'm putting Israel Adesanya. Trust! I want it to be in C tier. I don't want to be with the B tier and the A tier. Trust! I want it to be C tier. Trust! Like, Israel Adesanya, he has some good lines, but there's so many bad ones that he is just the king of cringe. He is the cringiest UFC fighter on the roster at the moment, in my opinion. Not a bad person. I'll be clear on that, because a lot of Izzy fans get really mad whenever I, criticize him. I don't really get that. But, Israel Adesanya, he's a nice dude or whatever. I don't feel like it's so soy that I even have to say that to these sensitive fucking... Anyways, dude, Israel Adesanya is a nice person, okay? But at the same time, when you're getting on the mic and you're talking about fucking, I'm the new dog in the yard, I just pissed all over this cage, trust, it's like, that is not a fucking bar, dude. That's cringy as fuck, dude. What else is there, man? Oh, I love one thing that Israel Adesanya does that puts him in C tier for me as well, before I move on. He finds a line that he thinks is good and he just spams it. He just spams that shit all week. I remember against Robert Whittaker, I was in the nosebleeds. Now I'm going to make his nose bleed. Trust. He said that shit like 40 times. I wish somebody made a compilation of him. He said that shit like 47 times. On God, bro. So Israel Adesanya is C tier. He is the cringe tier. We move on to one of the smartest men in MMA. Definitely one of the shortest men in MMA. This guy makes up for his, beta physique with his Chad-like mind. Dominick Cruz is A tier. He will psychologically break you down. I'm sitting right in front of you, dummy. You can't stop. You can't be done talking to me, dummy. I'm sitting right here. Keep talking. Dominick Cruz is a fucking verbal mastermind. He'll just talk you in circles. Every single thing you say, he's like the Ben Shapiro of MMA, dude. Like, bro, this guy literally will fucking just spin everything you say. Like, anything you say, he's just like, oh, so you don't like your team then? You don't trust your team? You're like, I didn't fucking say that. He's like, well, you just said that your team is disappointing you, so you're not happy with your team, right? Like, Dominick Cruz is a mastermind. I've seen so many videos of, like, the art of mental warfare, Dominick Cruz trash talk highlights. This guy's definitely got that dog in him, and he's belongs in A tier, all right? He's got that dog in him, but Izzy's in that dog. Trust, all right? We move on to another one of my favorite fighters of all time, okay? A lot of my favorite fighters are good at talking shit, bro. They got the gift of the gab, just like me, okay? This guy didn't really have the best UFC career, but in his short UFC career and throughout his entire MMA career, he's provided us so many legendary trash talking and funny moments. I'm putting Ben Askren at A tier. I mean, when Jorge Masvidal was like, I'm going to end this dude's bloodline. I'm going to end this individual's bloodline completely. And then Askren in response is just like, I have 3 kids, George, unless you're going to kill my kids. It's a bit too late to end my bloodline. He's so like short with people. He's so dry, and he just has like this non-arrogance to the way that he talks that it's very funny. Like he just points out the absurdity of some of the trash talk you hear in MMA. Like, he absolutely owned Kamaru Usman, made him look like an idiot. Jorge Masvidal had him fucking fuming over everything. Didn't go well for him, but still, good trash talk. Okay, so Ben Askren definitely belongs in the A tier, all right? We move on to one of the current UFC champions on the roster. This guy is a bit of a superstar, I won't lie. He's definitely got star potential, but Jesus Christ, when he gets on the mic, he's so socially awkward. It's legit like watching like your mate that's like, yo, where the girls at, bro? And then me when the girls rock up. Me, Sean O'Malley. This guy literally can't put a fucking sentence together, dude. He's so funny on his podcast. On his podcast, he says funny shit, Obviously, you got to sift through fucking 40 minutes of like, yeah, man, the boys went out drinking, did. Yep. Smashed his body last night, did. Yep, we went out drinking, did. Yep, hit the fucking vape too, did. Yeah, dude. Yeah, you got to sit through 40 minutes of that fucking shit, but then you occasionally get the good one where he'll like roast Henry Cejudo for his stupid analysis, or he'll just say like something funny about Aljamain. Like he's pretty funny sometimes when he's like comfortable, when he's like confident. Fuck, I just opened a folder on my laptop. Fuck me. But yeah, he's pretty funny when he's confident, but when he's in front of a big crowd or he's, around people that make him nervous, he is just fucking a deer in the headlights, okay? So O'Malley, D tier, bro. Work on your game. We move on to another one of my favorite fighters, especially in terms of his trash talk. He's a funny dude. He definitely has so many memorable moments, especially with Daniel Cormier. I'm putting Khabib at B tier. Khabib's almost like an underrated... People say he's humble. Yeah, he's humble, bro. He's a good shit talker, bro. He talks that shit, bro. So many fucking funny moments where he's just like... He's just like, brother, this is number one bullshit, brother. Your grappling is zero, brother. Your wrestling is zero, brother. Or anytime they bring up DC, he's like, this guy champion of eating chickens, brother. This guy eat chickens all time, brother. Okay, this is what he champion at. Like, Khabib's got that funny fucking like Russian broken English. I think that makes him funnier. You know, sometimes I don't think he'd get away with some of his trash talk if he wasn't like broken English, but because he is, he's just a little bit funnier, seems a little bit more innocent with the stuff that he says. It makes it a bit that just tiny bit funnier. So I'm gonna put Khabib at B tier. He's an underrated shit talker in the game. Okay. Next guy up, he belongs in this C tier, the cringe tier. He is the man that kind of revolutionized. I'm pretty sure that's how you say the word. Pretty much revolutionized the fucking game of cringe. I'm putting Henry Cejudo at C tier. He's on the tier list, guys. He's on the tier list, guys. Henry Cejudo is almost bordering so far into irony that he's actually becoming unironically cringe. It's almost like a paradox, you know. He started out, it was like he embraced the cringe. It was pretty funny. He was being ironic about it. He's become so self-aware that he's almost not realizing that his self-aware shtick is pretty cringy. And he's just delusional with some of the things that he says, you know. I think Henry Cejudo is one of the fighters that I've definitely lost a lot of interest in and, you know, fandom of, I guess you would say. I was a Henry Cejudo fan back in the day, but ever since he came back, I've just found him really annoying, to be honest. And that's the last thing you want is go away heat. You know, you either want people to love to hate you, like Colby Covington and Michael Bisping, or you want people to hate to love you, you know, like Sean Strickland, you know, like Khabib, like DC. You never want this heat that Henry Cejudo has where people fucking genuinely want him to just shut up. So, Henry Cejudo, your C tier, bro. You got to work on your material. You've been using the same shit for like 4 years. It's not funny, bro. And yeah, eat some vegetables as well, little bro. You're a bit short. All right, we move on to a former UFC champion that has been on the receiving end of so many fucking verbal ass whoopings. It's not even funny. And real life ass whoopings as well. He's got his chin absolutely cracked. I'm going to put Luke Rockhold, Mr. Spit or Swallow, in the D tier. He legitimately looks like the biggest Chad of all time. If this guy could even form a sentence, I'm pretty sure he would have been the face of the UFC. Let's be real. If he could get together a sentence like Bedtime MMA can, he would be running shit in the UFC. But unfortunately for him, he is cursed with that bodybuilder autism where he just cannot fucking speak to other human beings. Doesn't even know what to do with his hands. He has no trash talk in him whatsoever. Everything he says is either weirdly aggressive or very dismissive and weirdly too serious, and people just make fun of him for being a weirdo. So yeah, Luke Rockhold, definitely not one of the best trash talkers of all time. Definitely a D tier trash talker, okay? Let's move on to somebody a little bit more recent. Somebody that was recently a UFC champion. He definitely likes to embrace the cringe a little bit, but I find him absolutely... It's weird. It's weird. I'm going to preface this by saying I like this guy. I think he's a really, really nice guy. I'm not saying that like Izzy to like cope to his little fans. I'm saying genuinely this guy seems like a really nice person. I'm going to say Aljamain Sterling seems like a good guy. When he's being himself, he's a perfectly fun, perfectly nice dude. When he tries to talk shit and he tries to be like entertaining, it's so forced that it's not even cringe. It's beyond cringe. He has actually found an echelon beyond cringe that is yet to be seen. Scientists are still trying to figure it out. You know, Professor Isaac Deek is still trying to figure it out. How Aljamain Sterling has transcended cringe to a level where it's almost, it hurts to watch. It hurts to watch. I'm not being like hyperbolic. I genuinely think Aljamain Sterling needs to just be himself and he will get way more fans. Like, are you seeing how much people like him after this O'Malley loss? Why? Because he's not talking shit, right? He's being himself and people respect who he is as a man. It's when he's talking shit that a lot of people just find him very, very cringy, okay? We move on to one of the greatest UFC fighters and one of the greatest MMA fighters of all time, regardless of promotion, regardless of weight class. This man was sneakily kind of good at trash talking, dude. I'm not going to lie. This guy sneakily had some fucking funny moments, dude. He's definitely got some charm. He's definitely got some charisma. Some would say he's a bit of a pimp. GSP, dude, I'm going to put him in C tier. He is a little bit awkward, but I would say he's just funny enough to where he's not a D tier. Because, you know, he's had some moments where he's like, are you intoxicated or something, you know? I'm not impressed by your performance, you know? And the crowd's just like, like they can tell he didn't even want to say that shit, dude. Like, he's a funny guy, man. He's a funny guy. He's a nice guy. He's got some funny moments in the UFC, so I'm gonna put him at C tier. He's not cringy, but he has cringe moments. Let's say that, okay? Just like Aljo has cringe moments, but it's so bad it's not even good. So I'm going to put him in D tier. Okay. We move on to another former welterweight. This guy recently retired. Had some big fights in his career. A lot of trash talk. And you know what? I'm going to put Jorge Masvidal at B. This little individual belongs at B tier, dude. This guy's talking about Obama phones and breaking people's face. I can't lie. Jorge Masvidal has had some hilarious fucking moments in his career, dude. And I think it's because when he's trying to just be serious and just like living his genuine like personal life, it's just he's so entertaining that he belongs in the B tier. You know, he's got like this wry little smile sometimes, or he's just like yeah, those punches were super necessary. They were super necessary. If I see that dude at Walgreens or Whole Foods or whatever, it's not done. If I see this dude again, I'm gonna break his little face, dude. I want to hurt this little individual. Like he's got some charm. He's got some coolness to him. He's got some decent lines. You never really catch him getting fucking owned on the mic. I think McGregor would have absolutely talked circles around him and made him pissed off. Even Colby Covington kind of fucking roasted him, but Masvidal just talked over him like a baby, so he didn't really get roasted, I guess. Like he didn't really hear it. But yeah, he's definitely a tier below the Ben Askren, the Colby Covingtons of the world. But I would say he's on par with the Sean Strickland, maybe close to the level of a DC and a Khabib. I'd say they're a level above him as a trash talker. But yeah, Masvidal, B tier for sure. Okay, we move on to a current UFC champion, one of my favorite fighters in the world right now. A lot of people don't like this guy, and I think some of it is because he's got this natural kind of charisma. And what he says comes across very cocky, and he just likes to fuck around. He's very similar to Khabib. I'm going to say Islam Makhachev's low-key an A-tier shit talker, bro, because he's actually better than Khabib at it. Like, there's so many funny moments where Islam is like, brother, who give this guy black belt, brother? Okay, we have to check this, brother. And we have to cancel many remaining black belts, brother. Okay, why he roll like this? You know, or like they're like, oh, Bobby Green, he's got a wrestling background. He's like, brother, this guy maybe watched wrestling match one time or something, bro. Like, he's a funny fucking dude, low key. He's definitely got some funny moments. He pisses people off with his trash talk, which is kind of, you know, a running trend with these guys in the A tier. He's pretty witty. I think as his English gets better, he's going to be an even better shit talker. So I'm saying Islam Makhachev's A tier, bro. He's almost underrated with how funny he is sometimes. So I'm going to say he's definitely up there as a trash talker. We move on. We've got 3 more people left. One of them is one of my favorite fighters of all time. He's not necessarily a trash talker, I guess I would say, but he definitely knows how to roast the fuck out of people, okay? Yeah, what's up? Fuck yeah, yeah, that's what's up. Nate Diaz, like I said, he's not really a trash talker, but he'll definitely put you in your fucking place, dude. Like, he says funny shit, and people just find him so charismatic, so entertaining. And that is, to me, that is part of being a good trash talker, is that people like hearing you speak. People find what you say funny. Even if you're not a traditional, like these guys where they'll just shit talk you specifically and say, bro, you're trash, you fucking can't do this, you can't do that, blah, 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 blah. I would say this B tier is like, they're entertaining, they're charismatic, they're pretty good on the mic, they got funny moments. That's where I think Nate Diaz fits. I think Nate Diaz is such a personality, such a character, that anything he says, it's going to be funny, it's going to be entertaining, okay? And he belongs in B tier. So now we're up to the 2 last heavy hitters, okay? And there is one man that I think belongs to start off this S tier. That's a real thing. Chael Sonnen is the best trash talker in MMA history, and that's a real thing. You know, there's something to be said about that. Chael Sonnen, oh my god, this guy literally was like so far ahead of his time, it's not funny. I feel like he's still ahead of his time now. I don't think people have caught up to him yet in terms of just how like funny, how witty he actually is. Still, and the reason, you know what? That's actually proof. Still to this day, people cannot tell when this guy is fucking trolling and when he's being serious. He's that good at it. People still hear things that he says and go, bro, are you actually trolling? Is he trolling or is he being serious? I can't tell. He's that good on the mic. He's literally wordsmithed so many iconic call-outs, so many funny moments, post-fight, pre-fight, in cage, on tough. I don't have to say them. You guys know all these fucking legendary. You're probably thinking of so many Chael quotes right now. I want you to put your favorite Chael quotes in the comments, boys, because he is that fucking guy. And the last one on this trash talk tier list. What's up, brother? Mate, shut your... Nate, Now you can only count to 5. Now you count to 5, will you, if you can, you little fool of a thing. This guy, he's still got it. I'm sorry, Conor McGregor still got it. We've seen him talk circles around Michael Chandler, absolutely fucking flame the shit out of him. Every chance he gets, he just destroys Chandler so bad that Chandler just agrees with him. He's talked circles around fucking everybody he's fought. He even shut Khabib up, which is actually a crazy feat. He shut Khabib up by bringing up politics. Hey, you got to do what you got to do. There is not a man walking the earth that I think can verbally destroy Conor McGregor. Even Dustin Poirier, who knocked him the fuck out, could not get the crowd to like be like, oh, Conor still had them chanting against him, still had them talking shit to him. So Conor McGregor really is the best trash talker of all time, in my opinion. Chael Sonnen is number 2, and the rest of these guys, you can order them how you want. But in my opinion, these are the best trash talkers and some of the worst trash talkers in UFC history. Let me know what you think of my tier list, boys. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Make sure you let me know your order down below. Did I miss anybody? Comment that down below too, boys. If you enjoyed this, make sure you drop a like. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Let's hit 10K this month. And go follow me on Instagram at Bedtime MMA, because Lucas Tracy is still ducking me, bro. We got to make this fight happen. All right, boys. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.